time to find front row with Maverick Vinales and Cal Crutchlow. Joan Mir, his closest championship rival, 10 points between the former. Through there for Joan Mir. Will he be Suzuki's first winner of this 2020 Motogp World? He said yesterday it will not be his injuries that will be the biggest headache. It's going to be the tyre choice and managing those tyres.
Here in Aragon, away goes Franco Morbidelli from the second row and into Motogp. The last three winners, the same man who's not here. We will have a new winner in Aragon. For something more and more like he won't be, but we'll have to just wait and see in a few days' time. The fans at home, who are you cheering? Battle of Aragon begins. 19 points covering these four riders.
Spanish talent, last one, Casey Stoner, the last non-one, Casey Stoner, 2010 and 2011. Will the onus fall on Maverick for this 23-lap Aragon battle? The best condition we've had of the weekend so far. Pleasantly temperatures in the low 20 for an absolute classic MotoGP battle here in Aragon.
Yeah, no problems with the track temperature there, 31 degrees.
Off the line, and they do not need any time to get heat into those Michelin tyres. They will be strong from the get-go. The start at Motorland Aragon, well, he's knocked on the door a few times, hasn't he? The 25-year-old Spaniard. He's been fourth here in 3 of
the breaks from Fabio Quartararo, who lines up on pole for the 10th time in his MotoGP career.
You know, the Suzuki, so good in tyre battle races in those last 5 laps, and there's Joan Mir. Many people think it's time.
Who will master Motorland? MotoGP, 5 races to go, and the next one starts now. Lead into turn 1, but he's wide.
Yeah, he's well wide. Morbidelli hugged the inside line, got into the lead briefly. It's a Yamaha 1. Vinales leads.
Look at Alex
start by
Rins.
Rins as well. Alex Rins, 10th to 4th.
Unbelievable from Rins. Mir.
Lap then so far for Alex Rins, absolutely sensational. Got ahead of the Ducati of Jack Miller. Mir started 6th. He's in 6th.
Dream start, as you can see there. Mir going through on Jack Miller. Dobby's made up 5 places. He's up ahead of Alex number 4.
Yeah, Maverick on the move. Big time here early on. He's already opened up a big gap. Here comes Franco Morbidelli. He was taken out by Rins on this very 14 where Fabio crashed heavily yesterday morning. No dramas on lap 1 here on the Aragon race, but it's Vinales that has a clear advantage.
Down the back straight. Look at that advantage on the opening lap. The best opening lap Mavericks had of the 2020 season, full stop.
Really stretching his power this year, not by that much so. Sensational first lap for Vinales. He leads by 7/10 of a second. Incredible first. Pinches a spot there on the brakes on Andrea Dovizioso into turn 1. Great move by the Moto2 champ.
Cal Crutchlow got off the line far. 9 places in 12th on the opening lap. Cal Crutchlow, number 35. So a lot of work for him to do. He's behind Aleix Espargaro.
So yet again, we know what happened yesterday in qualifying. Different ball game though in the race. Vinales then still looking comfortable.
Quartararo's trying to take some chunks out of Vinales and was a bit heavy on the brakes down into turn 8 there.
Down the hill into turn 12. Looked like it, but no, he's not been able to make it through.
Your helicopter view then of the race the Aussie.
Yeah, this is a scenario, Steve, wasn't it, in Barcelona? Mir spent too much time behind Jack Miller. That let Quartararo just fail to recover it. One more lap in Barcelona, Mir was going to be the winner. Dovizioso fights back on Mark.
At that, between the number 73, the Moto2 world champion, and Dobby.
Andrea Dovizioso's probably thinking, you know what, I'm about to contend with so many years. Mark
said it time and time again, you just never know what you're going to get from Alex Rins on a Sunday. He was very fast this morning in warm-up. He's now up into 3rd.
Run to the first corner. He was in 4th place from 10th in sector 1.
Now Maverick Vinales is going to be asked some questions. It's been a horrible weekend for number 63.
Unmitigated disaster. He said yesterday speed and his pace was just compounds Pecco's misery on the dirt very early on while he was trying to fight with Miguel Oliveira for 16. That's caught him out.
Meanwhile at the front, a raging battle here between 2 Honda men. To turn 15 we go. It's Vinales from Quartararo, from Rins, Morbidelli and Mir.
Yeah, Mir for the Spaniard. Alex Rins has quite comfortably gapped Franco Morbidelli and struggling to go with the top 3 right now, the number 20. Exchange fastest laps. The quickest man on the circuit right now is Alex Rins in 3rd with a 1:48.404.
Alex Nakagami's into 7th.
Just all the confidence that coursed through his veins after that breakthrough podium. Yes, it was in the wet conditions in We've seen how devastating the form of his brother Marc Marquez has been, but this, let's not forget, is a rookie mixing it with the very...
Fabio Quartararo
Yeah, Franco Morbidelli at the moment has just got no speed. 49.4 from Morbidelli last time around. That was Franco Morbidelli. Just wondering if Barcelona's at the back of his mind, where he pushed so hard at the start of the race and then just burned up.
Maybe because of his front medium tyre option as well. Maybe just waiting a couple of laps to get some heat in.
Rins just swarming all that Suzuki man, trying to get some slipstream behind Fabio Quartararo. Simon, you've got some thoughts on Jack Miller. What do you think?
Thinking about the end of the race, and I think he's doing a pretty good job of hanging on, because those soft rears are worth about a second.
To this group out front then, Vinales it is that leads. Maverick Vinales leads, but it's quite, that means
Marquez was in a little bit hot at the first corner there. Don't know if that cost him a couple of places. Cal Crutchlow trying to regroup from the...
So far so good for Maverick Vinales. Clear air ahead of him. It's exactly what he would have wanted, exceeding track limits with that already this year.
Yeah, that has cost him dearly, didn't it, in Mazzano? So what kind of Morbidelli really did pick up his pace on that previous lap. Maybe he made a mistake when he dropped into those 49s, because he did a PB lap on that.
Atty will be strong. The KTMs will be up there as well, as Rins just goes a bit hot into turn 14, but the
Vinales is still within his sight. Although Vinales looks like he's just eking out that advantage, 7/10 of a second, it's still in. Thank you very much, I'll take that second spot without really having to fight for it.
Across the line we go then, and it's a Suzuki in second, but it's not place. Quick check on the lap times on that last lap. Rins was quicker than Vinales out front. In fact though, the quickest man.
Heat in the tyres, we know how strong Mir is going to be, certainly in those last 10 laps. Good battle this with race in Valencia.
Dobby's still in 9th place, just ahead of his teammate Petrucci. Cal Crutchlow trying to recover on the
Jack Miller on the same tyre combination, high 148s rather.
Morbidelli's closing now on Fab, going
brilliant.
for it, brilliant move. 6th place now then for Alex Marquez, but he's slightly wide in. He's got the inside line, he'll hold on to ever dry position. 6th here in Aragon.
Well, we do know he loves Motorland Aragon, 4 podiums and 8 races here.
Miller using that Ducati power though to pull back alongside Alex Marquez and retaliates. He's got the inside line as well.
And the right back into it as well. Vinales gets his pit ball.
Oh, look how close Rins is to the tail now of Maverick Vinales.
Well, he said +4, the entire Vinales, and start to really put pressure on Top Gun.
Rins has been in this position so many times before.
The Top Gun hasn't fired too many blanks this weekend so far, and he'll be desperate. He knows that he's still firmly in championship contention.
Because when he is overtaken, what he can do about it. The questions are going to come here, and can he answer the Juara and Franco Morbidelli? And Quattararo's just struggling a bit at the moment to hold the line.
And after that little tussle between Marquez and Miller, the determined Taka Nakagami.
So Rins heading downhill toward an advantage on the Yamaha in that area.
Morbidelli's got Quattararo, Franco Morbidelli, then the two Petronas Yamaha SRT boys swapping his, and there's Morbidelli out a little bit wide. The pair of them are out wide.
They're
2 for the price of 1
They're
for Juan
both
Mir.
caught napping. Boys then are out of podium contention right now.
I reckon the pair of them, they didn't want to give up on the braking zone there. It was a battle of who was going to son through.
Look at Alex Marquez across the line of 48.9. He was faster than anyone ahead of it.
Yeah, everybody thinking that it was just a wet weather race that got him on the podium last time out. Well, he's burying that one as well.
Long way to go yet in this race. A lot could still change, a lot could happen. In the background there, Nakagami.
15-16 onwards, where we're really going to have to pay close attention to those rear tyres, how much they do indeed. Vinales then looking back at Alex Rins. Nothing between these two in terms of this turn 15, and he gets good drive again. You can just see pulling a bike length or two on Alex Rins as they sweep.
Marquez catching Fabio Quartararo, and there's Rins, he's through and he leads brilliantly. Marquez is through on the World Championship leader.
More grey hairs and no nails for Davide Brivio coming back. Maverick Vinales, and now has he got the speed to try and break away from the pack?
Alex Marquez is 6/10 quicker. Sol Honda rider then has disposed of the World Championship leader like he's on a Moto3 bike, and there's still 50.
First few laps here. Vinales just was out a little bit wide, wasn't he? And
rider, oh yeah, again, Quattararo wide. His front, he cannot hold the line at the moment, Fabio Quattararo.
Well, he's wide on the brakes and in the back straight. So
let's try and take stock of what's going on here. Mir's closing on Maverick Vinales. Rins leads at this moment in time. to the front, but as it stands, he's doing an amazing job ahead of Quartararo. Then it's a 1 second gap back to Nakagami.
Had to wait 13 years, didn't they? Mazzano 2007 to have two bikes on the podium. Marquez going for on the inside of Franco.
That is unbelievable. He moves up into 4th place. Across the line,
Aragon with 8 successive victories. We've now got an all-Spanish top 4. Rins, Vinales, Mir and Alex Marquez had this kind of pace and potential to be knocking on the door of the podium before half-race distance.
Oh, which is pretty brave. Fantastic effort.
Yeah, we've seen all season long how good Suzuki's launch device is, and that was poor start. Juan Mir had to check up behind him. You can see there it was elbows and knuckles out for Maverick Vinales and Fabio Quartararo.
The lights went out. It looked like he'd got a good start, but
yeah,
of course he hasn't got that launch device, and it's cost them. Cal Crutchlow's ahead of Dovi now. He's up to 9th, so Dovi's dropped another place. It's almost, more importantly, another championship point.
Almost 9th place, and now having to deal with his former factory Ducati and Tech 3 Yamaha teammate Cal Crutchlow.
Tiny margin. Nakagami now, 2nd fastest man on circuit. Cal Crutchlow will be ruining what happened.
150. Now he's just surrendering World Championship points lap by lap here. Nakagami's all over.
Not done a lot of laps on that medium front, and you're right, Matt, he's in big trouble here.
Particularly with Mir ahead of him in 3rd place. First Aragon Grand Prix is potentially the new Motogp World Championship leader.
He's actually going to fall into the hands of the Ducatis here.
Him on the brakes into turn 12, or is he not going to be quite close enough? No, he's not. Quartararo defending with all.
Look at that. I mean, that's another get out of jail free card for Dovi if it ends up like this right now. He'd only lose 3 points in the way.
That he's going to have some pace in the second half of the race. Here comes Taka Nakagami. They were on board with Fabio Quartararo. No, he cannot run the tight line. He hasn't got the edge grip, front or rear, to combat those last couple of corners. How many?
Roll 2, is that a setting to change to? Either way, Quartararo cannot hold a line and cannot hold a place in the top 8.
Steve, he's got bit down to a low 149. That's his best lap of the race so far.
Yeah, and here comes Jack Miller. In the meantime, out front.
Looks tight, he looks tentative. He's not got the trust in the motorcycle put underneath him right now.
It's amazing, isn't it? This is the battle you're looking at for 6th place, and Quartararo could arguably be at the back of it. Now this is Tetsuhiro Kawata, Alberto Pucci, the dad of Alex, of course, down there, Julian.
Occasion, can't it? I mean, Alex Marquez now is seriously in this victory hunt here in Aragon.
Morbidelli's dropped away from this group.
I think Dovi's got Fabio Quartararo, who's struggling right now. He has. Dovi did get him. Quartararo will do well, not just
place. And now Cal Crutchlow's about to pounce on the number 20 as well. Will he be able to do it into turn?
His body will be hurting, and it's really hurting his championship challenge right now, as well as he just drops back through the pack.
Look at Alex Marquez.
Like a single point ahead of Juan Mir, but it's potentially going to get much, much worse for the Frenchman.
Alex Marquez.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, you really do have to take your hat off to Alex Marquez. There are not going to be too many people in right now, and all credit to him. He's taken some massive criticism for how he got the ride because of his superstar 2 world champion. Yeah, did deserve his crack in one of the biggest factory teams we've ever seen in MotoGP history. What a ride by Marquez.
Then he loses another place, and it's a Suzuki 1-2. They're side by side on the exit of turn 15, but surely Mir will have the edge line better as well over Maverick Vinales, and surely he'll go through. He does. It's a Suzuki 1-2.
The Yamaha Maverick Vinales respond. He's getting worse for him. Alex Marquez dive bombs him. Absolutely awesome. That came from
amazing, isn't it? Yamahas have been so strong all weekend. At the moment, none of them are on the podium. Alex Marquez then into 3rd place.
Marquez back in Severa. He might have knocked it off the wall right now. He'll be jumping around the living room for joy, watching his... There's a big twitch there, wasn't there, as Maverick Vinales got on the gas coming out of turn number 8. Is he running into rear tyre trouble? 10 laps to
rear. Will he run into any trouble as this race now gets into the latter stages? 10 laps remain. So soft tyres, but they're just so good at being able to keep rear end slide there from Alex Marquez. How much has he put through? Agro have gone through on him, and soon he'll be out the points.
Yeah, it's a painful experience this for Fabio Quartararo. Struggling as well. I mean, he's not anywhere near his peak physical best. It's a fast-flowing, very physical circuit, this Motorland Aragon. This weekend, Fabio Quartararo, it's going to be a real test of his pain threshold, his mental fortitude. Miguel Oliveira at the top 10. It was about holding on into the point-scoring places.
That front tyre, he cannot do anything with it. He just cannot.
And how much are the hips playing a major factor in Fabio Quartararo's problems right now? Our experience for Fabio Quartararo, he's got Oliveira, Alecuona and Broll behind him. I mean, he could be in 18th spot.
Catalunya, when there were two Suzukis on the podium for the first time since 2007, they were launching Davide Bridge to the moon if they get a 1-2 here, but they've got trouble in the hands of Alex Marquez on the
Suzuki 1-2 since Hockenheim 1982. Randy Mamola and Virginio Ferrari.
Blimey, that's before
Maverick Vinales has got nothing for the top three men at the moment. He's just dropping backwards as well. Has just got Fabio Quartararo too, and so has Stefan Bradl. How much longer is Fabio Quartararo going to take this? That's a bit of a beast to ride, a bit wayward at times, but Alex Marquez right now working wonders on the RC213V.
In Mazzano has boosted them so much, but the confidence that is running through the veins of Alex Marquez is extraordinary.
Absolutely fantastic. Fabio Quartararo is another 151 from him. Nowhere near the pace.
Rins leads. The gap back to his teammate Joan Mir 4/10 with just a bike length in the top three. It's not looking at the moment like there's going to be a Yamaha on the podium. Marquez.
Yeah, Rins has got that gap covered to Mir by about 4/10, half a second. This is where Alex Marquez, 17, hasn't he? The edge grip he's got on that Honda. Some people say the Honda doesn't turn very well. Bit of understeer, no problem. Physical problems all combined and made it an incredibly difficult day for Fabio Quartararo. As well, he's got himself into the top 10 because he's been all at sea after Friday. A couple of confidence draining crashes on a cold front tyre.
It's been a difficult day for the Austrian manufacturer on a weekend where we thought they might make a step forward and have a say in
place right now. 7 laps to go then, or 6.5. The time of the race where we were major factor, and we know how good the Suzukis are in this phase of the Grand Prix. There's Danilo Petrucci.
That will prick the ears up of Brad Binder further up the road. Here is Cal Crutchlow closing on his good friend off 9th at the moment. Binder has gone through on Aleix Espargaro, the leading KTM man, and then is up into 12th. Out front, they're about to cross. What happens with the tyres? The gaps come down to Rins out front to 3/10. But Alex Marquez
coming into Aragon, and look at this now, he's going to go up the inside of Joan Mir, isn't he, into turn 5, no thought about it, got right onto the rear track. He feels like he can win this, doesn't he, Alex Marquez?
Well, he probably could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be in these tricky conditions where we know the grip goes away quite quickly. Davide Brivio, well, he can barely watch. We've seen that a few times, that shot this year. Yeah, for those, Fabio Quartararo will be desperately hoping that Alex Marquez can do him a favour here and try and pinch a few points away from Mir.
Bit of a moment as a rock.
So too is Alex Rins as well. You know he's wasted a couple of big opportunities so far.
Well, here it is then. He's going to get into the slipstream and turn 16 where he's able to hold the line so much stronger than the Suzuki's up ahead of him. It's going to be midway through this corner where you're going to see Alex Marquez try and go through on the inside. Here he goes, through he goes.
Brilliant by Alex Marquez. Can he incredibly make it a Marquez victory here in Motorland? Marc Marquez. I mean, this has been absolutely astonishing performance by the younger Marquez brother. Truly remarkable. Half a second with 4.5 laps to go. Time is on his side. There's pressure mounting and pressure building, and from an unlikely source in the 73 Repsol Honda of Alex Marquez.
Of course, former teammates Alex Rins and Alex Marquez.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there was not a lot of love lost between those two back in the day when they were...
This is outrageous, isn't it? This is absolutely outrageous.
Bitter rivals, well, that just incentivises him that little bit more, doesn't it?
The gap's 3/10 at them around that final corner. 4 laps to go now in Aragon.
That medium front tyre choice might be a Marquez master. Round less as he can carry lean angle as well. At the moment, you've got to say Mir struggling to get back on par. How much risk will Joan Mir be willing to take? I'm sure he's got a message on his pit board or on the dashboard exactly what's happened. A bit more about the championship rather than taking risks of 2 men fighting with 2 men ahead of him who clearly are not really championship contenders at.
Are Alex Marquez and Taka Nakagami, both on Hondas.
Well, Nakagami was awesome late on in Barcelona when everybody's Marquez. Look at his rear tyre, squirming, screaming for grip as he got on the gas coming through turn 11.
dropping down the hill into turn 14. A bit wide on entry there from Alex Rins. Alex Marquez will round off turn 15. Opposite lock there from Rins. He looks to try and get the drive down the back straight. There will be 3 laps remaining when we come around.
It's the medium front. He can turn it so much tighter with that medium front tyre. He's been better in that corners all race long. Throwing everything at him. Davide Brivio again looking incredibly pensive, as you'd expect, because Alex Rins, he's right there, right on his case. When is that move going to come then from the rookie?
Champion here is closing on the Suzuki of Alex Rins.
Nah, he's got nothing to lose as well, as he, Alex Marquez. You know he's going to throw everything at it. Mir looks like he's taken his medicine. He's not going to be having a breakthrough victory in MotoGP today unless there's fireworks ahead. Really struggling now for rear grip on that soft tyre.
Into turn 12. Rins still has the advantage over for Yamaha. Julian Marquez looking on. If you look to the left there with his fingers still crossed. 16, here he comes.
You can look at that shot of his father on the left hand side of the screen. He can barely watch.
It's coming now.
It's Alex versus Alex. Rins versus Marquez with 2 to go in Aragon. Who's going to be the winner?
Wide into turn 1. In the background there, Vinales is closing a bit on Juan Mir. There are 2 laps from
Alex Marquez running that tighter line again. He just gets that rear tyre spinning up a little bit, doesn't he?
We are going to have...
He's not giving this one up though, is he?
Who's going to take the 8th? Who's going to become the 8th different winner for the number 36?
And has Alex Rins got this one covered? Has he fended off the first corner, to be fair to Alex Rins?
He has a habit of springing a surprise when you least expect it. He did it last year at Silverstone with Marquez.
And this will taste so sweet for Alex Rins. Born and bred a stone's throw away from this Motorland Aragon, away from a famous victory here in Motorland Aragon.
Do you know what? He'll cross the line to begin the final lap of this extraordinary race. Another twist in the tail in motor.
And he's been so good here through turns 3, 4 and 5. Alex Marquez has been really strong with that medium front tyre. There,
really quickly, Mir has run into trouble, rather surprisingly.
Now then, turn 7, Alex Marquez is starting to run out of time by bike lengths. There's not a lot of overtaking opportunities left. Here's one of them down the hill into the reverse corkscrew, and it's still Rins that has the advantage. Stream of that Suzuki. In a horsepower shootout, you think it's going to be advantage Honda. These are a crucial couple of corners now. Those final couple of corners, is he going to be close enough? Rins riding out of his skin to stay in the lead.
In the meantime, can
Alex Marquez get close enough? Rins gets that soft rear tyre hooked up brilliantly on the factory Suzuki. As he's one covered, he's running a little bit wide, but it will be a famous Rins home victory in Aragon.
It's Alex from Alex Aragon, ahead of Alex Marquez, who gets a dry podium to follow up his one in France as well. Mir does just hold on to from Alex Marquez, the rookie. Back-to-back podiums for him, and Alex Rins takes Suzuki's first win of 20.
Mayor Grand Prix here in Aragon for Fabio Quartararo. 2 monumental crashes, and he loses the world champion.
Close on the world championship lead. He started today 18 points down, trying to find a glove that he'd launched. He's now just...
Look at his recent record as well.